The Living Your Best Life Experiment, Week 22, Chapter 25, Remember to Surrender. In this week's chapter, she talks about remembering to surrender and uses an analogy of seeing a beautiful butterfly that you want and how sometimes, no matter how hard we chase things, we can't catch them. But sometimes when we just sit back and relax and let go, they come to us. So I think she's saying that sometimes you just have to let go and maybe you'll see the bigger picture. Then it says, understand it is all right to let go of control. We can't always do everything ourselves. And, especially those things where you feel like you just don't want to do them. They don't bring you any joy, so you hire them out. But if you're constantly overlooking that person's shoulder or trying to micromanage it, all you're going to end up accomplishing is overseeing and not really using that time to do things that bring you joy. So if you hold on too tightly to something, sometimes it just slips away. Whereas if you let go of control sometimes and just go with the flow, it'll bring you to places you probably didn't even know existed and that you didn't realize you needed to be. So it's all right to let go. And that talks about fear-based thinking versus love-based thinking, where fear-based thinking is your need to try and take control of a situation, and love-based thinking is more of going with the flow. When you think about, what are your goals? Why don't you have them? Do you know how to get to your goals? Is what she's hinting at in this one. So sometimes we don't know where we have to go, and by controlling those situations, you really lock out the possibilities of what could come along, and you might miss out on the chance to take something in a different direction. You've never been there before. You don't know how to get there. So being open to different possible ways of getting there is really an act of love towards yourself. Then it also talks about how your life is your party and you choose who you invite. So you're in charge of who's in your life, what you experiment with, what you do, what you experience. So it's saying that, go with the flow. But if you come into situations or people that you feel are sucking your energy or are negative or just don't bring you joy, you can still walk away from those. And then it just goes into what I was saying before there, that you don't know how to get there, so let go and go with the flow. If you've never done something before, if you're aiming for something new in your life, if you're aiming for change, if you've never gone there before, how do you know where you need to go or what you need to do? So being open in situations like that is so important. So then it goes into a list of things that can help you surrender. Having a clear manifest, believe it's already here, decide you will have it, behave and think like it's yours. So after you figure it out what you want, you need to believe that's possible, and you need to believe that you will have it and that it's already yours. You just have to do the work to get there. And then the second part of it is connect to your energy, take joyful action, be grateful it's yours, breathe and let go. So one of the things about always controlling a situation is that it takes so much energy to do that. Whereas when you let go and you're doing things that you love and enjoy, it replenishes your energy. And really stopping and appreciating what you have at this moment and what you're doing in this moment. And just stepping back and taking that breath and really taking in the journey that you're on does wonders for restoring your energy. So for me, this one was a harder one to tackle, where a lot of times my anxiety will be set off by the feeling of having a lack of control of a situation. So when you're trying to let go of control and it's fighting against your anxiety, it makes it really tough. So the first thing that I did was I started getting comfortable with letting go of control. And it would be small things at first. And just getting comfortable with that feeling that I can get through this, I can work through it, that I can talk myself through a situation. And even though I'm still feeling anxiety, I know I'll be okay at the end of it. I am a big user of lists and writing things down just because it helps me process things better. So one of the things I will do is I will list out all the things that I know I need to do to get something done. And in doing that, it not only breaks it up and makes it more manageable so it's not overwhelming, but it also shows me which things I might not take joy in doing. So the next thing I do is I make 2 lists, the things that bring me joy or I feel that I can't let control of, and the things that I don't like doing or I don't know how to do and I feel comfortable letting go of that control a bit. So for me, I like to make a list of all the possible things that my anxiety-ridden brain will worry about with each of the situations of letting control go. And although it sounds counterproductive, you're thinking, it's more negative and you aren't letting go, you're overanalyzing it. But for me personally, I find it very soothing, I guess, in a way, when I'm honest with myself about what I'm really fearful of in letting go of control. And some of them may seem silly, but it really helps if you're honest and you just put it out there. And then the next thing I do is I go through that list and I will mitigate anything that I can. So I will make sure that in the event something does go wrong, that I have done everything that I can to manage that situation or to make sure that that situation doesn't spiral out of control. And then once I know I've done everything that I can or that's within my ability, then I let go, because at that point there is nothing more I can do. I've done everything that I could possibly do, and by holding on to it, I'm just going to drive myself crazy. So I need to just let it go and relax and really just go with the flow. And the last thing I do is I reassure myself. In those moments where things don't go as planned or you feel like you're losing control of the situation, I just remind myself that I've already done everything that I can do. There's nothing more I can do. And believe that it's going to work out in the end. For me, this was a big thing with traveling. At one point, my anxiety was so bad that I couldn't leave the house. It was like pulling teeth to go to the grocery store or, like normal things, run to the bank or stuff like that. Like, it was very fear-inducing. And to go from that to being able to travel halfway around the world and actually enjoy and experience those things was a lot of work to get to that point. And to this day, like, this process is still something I need to do to to help me manage my anxiety. And when it comes to travel, my travel never goes to plan. I never have a event-free travel experience. But in saying that, I also experience a lot of things that are out of the normal or wouldn't have happened if everything had gone to plan. And although it would be very easy for me to dwell on the things that went wrong, and as an artist, I've been to Rome 3 times now, and I've never seen the Sistine Chapel. It never works out. But the things that happened that caused me not to be able to go there were awesome and filled me with joy, and I'm glad that I got to experience them. So in the end, everything worked out. I might not have seen Michelangelo, but I took with me a greater appreciation for the people around me. And of course, it always ends with love yourself, and the universe will bestow you with love. So until next week, I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye.